again in that meeting said, yes, the SMMA is working. Yes, the marine reserves are working. But his comment was that the fish know the zones. The fish know the boundaries of the marine reserve and they don't come into the fishing priority areas. That comment has always struck me and stayed with me because when you think of it, for a fisherman to make the comment to say that the fish know the boundaries of the marine reserve and they don't swim out into the fishing priority areas, he's saying that because he has observed something, that there are lots of fish in the marine reserve, but none in the fishing priority areas. And in my work when I was at the SMMA, we would go snorkeling, conduct manta board tours, or diving. And the observation that I made relates to what this fisherman said. In the fishing priority area, which is right next to the marine reserve, so you have a fishing priority area and a marine reserve. On the other side of the marine reserve is another fishing priority area. In the fishing priority areas, the fishermen drop their pots, they cast their nets, and they fish because that's where they're allowed to fish. So, in dropping their pots and casting their nets, whatever reefs were in those areas have been damaged. When you drop a pot on a reef, the reefs are fragile and the pot drags due to the current, or when you're pulling up the pot, it bounces, it sways in the current. There is no reef structure left in the fishing priority areas. And when you swim across where this imaginary line is the boundary of the marine reserve and you swim into it, you get to see increasing reef structure, more and more branching corals, sea fans, sea whips, different types of corals. You get to see the reef within the marine reserve because it's protected. Even though persons go fishing illegally there, we still have some reef structure within the marine reserves. So when this fisherman made that comment, my response was, the fish don't know the boundaries of the marine reserve. There's no line preventing the fish from swimming into the fishing priority areas. The issue is that you all have been fishing so heavily in the fishing priority areas that the reefs that were in the fishing priority areas have been damaged. It is now rubble. When you go swimming and snorkeling there, you see everything dead. So the fish, they're not against themselves, they're not stupid. They are animals, and animals want to seek shelter to protect themselves from being eaten by bigger fish. So the fish not going to go and swim and take a nice casual excursion into the fishing priority areas when there's nice reef structure that it can dart and hide between the reefs in the marine reserve area. And then the fisherman from Martinique, one of them, he stood up and he said, this fisherman from Soufrière, zot méchant ou savent, zot just fini dit, marine reserves ka travay bien, mais zot vle se moun nan ouve se marine reserves pou zot vini détruit tout se reef la. The fisherman from Martinique, he recognized the importance of the reef structure in the marine reserve. And his comment to the fisherman was, why would you want to open up the marine reserve to allow fishermen to go and mash up the reefs in the marine reserve when you all have already damaged all the reefs in the fishing priority areas? It took a fisherman from Martinique to make that statement. And the fisherman from Soufrière sat back. He had no response after that. He had no response after that. Having a foreigner tell him that what he was suggesting was not making any sense and would affect his livelihood in the long run. He sat back and he had no comment afterwards. Now we have younger and younger fishermen entering the trade. These young fishermen are not aware of what the underwater marine scene, the landscape looked like back in the 80s, the 70s, and the 60s. What they know is what they see. And what they can see is a lot of dead reefs in the areas where they go fishing. I know as a child, when my mother or my aunt or my grandmother would purchase fish, we would have one big snapper, one huge snapper that couldn't fit on a plate. We had to put it in a basin, and that one snapper fed everybody in the house. But over the years, the size of the fish that the fishermen are catching have been getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The average size of fish being caught now is decreasing. The fishermen are not giving the fish a chance to grow into the large sizes that we were getting before. I've seen some pictures of people carrying fish on their backs, and the fish are as long as a full grown man, almost 6 feet long and longer. I've seen pictures of persons carrying groupers, 3 men holding one fish. We do not see that anymore in our waters. So we need to start making a change, a conscious change in each and every individual person's lives. Because the pressures on our marine environment, on our oceans, is not just from the fishermen. The decline in the fish is not just from overfishing. It starts from land. It starts from what we do on land. It's called the anthropogenic impacts, what happens by man on land. All the chemicals we flush down the drains. When you bathe at your home, the soap that you use, the shampoo and conditioner, the hair dye, the shaving cream, all that when we shower at home, use our bathroom and use our kitchen sink, our drains, all that flows into a gutter. From the gutter, it goes to a river or a ravine, and it ends up in the sea. Plus, we know as a community there are some instances where people throw their butchie in the river still. We know it still exists. And in the year 2026, I think it is high time that we address this, and it should not continue. This Flowing Clean project that we are implementing is seeking to address so many of our pollution sources into the Soufrière River. And our concern is for the health of the river, the fish and the other animals in the river that we need to have a healthy ecosystem, and what flows from the river into the sea. Because if the river is polluted, around where the water from the river flows into the sea is going to be polluted as well. And we have this mentality in St. Lucia, which is wrong, that the salt water kills everything. In Patois, we say, "Glou la mer ka tue tout bagay." Se moun nan sa pa vwe pièce. Si mwen pon an tita glou, et mwen mette yo ba an microscope pou gade, ou ka we tout se ti zanimo a ka jwe an ti glou a. The salt water, the salinity of the water does not kill all bacteria. It does not kill any viruses. Salt water does not kill a virus. It will kill some bacteria, but the ones that survive are the ones that cause illness. The ones that can tolerate salt water and swim happily in the seawater is what can cause serious illnesses in humans if we drink the water accidentally or deliberately. The call from us, from the Flowing Clean Project, from the members of the Sufa River Systems Management Committee, from the organizations that play a role in managing the river, the call from us is what you do on land affects your health, whether you are aware of it or not. Let me repeat that. What you do on land, whether you are next to the sea, by the river, up in the Jacques, in the forests, in the countryside, what you do on land affects your health, whether you are aware of it or not. From this project, we have been trying to get people to pay attention to what is happening in our community. We have been trying to get persons to be more conscious and more aware of their surroundings in their communities. We have held 8 community cleanups so far. Is it 8? We have done Fongelib, Barons Drive, Market Road, Riverside, Palmist, Wavinclay, Espérance, Mini, and Boaden and Mocha. 9 for now. On Saturday, the Fisheries Cooperative will be holding a cleanup of the fisheries area all the way down to behind the cemetery. We also have the area from Upper High Street to Upper Boulevard Street. We have some persons who are trying to mobilize the residents in that area. They will soon set a date for their cleanup. I am waiting patiently for the New Development Community, the committee from New Development, to set a date for their cleanups. They will have 2 because we have New Development above the main road and below the main road. Plus, we also have interest from persons from Belfort as well as Etangs who want to organize their cleanup as well. Zeno has said that they tried to do one in the past and it didn't quite work out, but I still want to engage the residents from Zeno to see if we can have a cleanup in the Zeno area as well. So we want to touch every single community with a cleanup in their space, for persons to realize and see how much is accumulating in their environment. Other communities, the Ministry of Health has been spearheading cleanups in their area, and it is being done to control vectors, to control mosquitoes, to control rats, mice, and roaches and rodents, pests in general. But we're doing it because we want not just the health benefits of getting rid of these plastic bottles that are collecting water and breeding mosquitoes, or old fridges, old stoves that are housing rodents in them. We do not want those things to end up in the river. So this is why we're doing those cleanups in the communities, to dispose of them properly at the landfill. And so far, I can tell you we have removed 21 tons of garbage from the 9 communities. 21 tons were carted away from 9 communities, properly disposed of at the landfill. What does that mean for the rest of the communities? We want you to plan yours as soon as possible so we can get this out of the way. We have some community micro grants. Now that the communities have done their cleanups, they will see which areas in the community need, whether it is a beautification, an improvement project, something that is going to benefit and improve water flow in the community, in the rivers, or in the drains. We want the communities to think of what projects that they can do. And some communities have already come up with their project ideas already. And as soon as we are ready, we will be announcing the community microgrants launch for communities to start to apply for those small grants. Yesterday, we held a consultation. Like I said again, yesterday was World Oceans Day. Apart from ensuring that persons do not dispose of their garbage illegally, we are now working on the legal side of things. There's lots of different legislations that speak to water pollution and air pollution. We have contracted a lawyer who is tasked with compiling all these different laws and regulations into a simplified booklet that the police will have a major hurricane and to be left unprotected when persons now would be scrambling to find water. Think of what happened after Hurricane Thomas. Those of you who are old enough, think of what happened after Hurricane Allen. There was no water for weeks, for months, in some instances, in some communities. People went right back to the rivers and the streams and the springs to get clean water. So, for us to ensure that when something does happen, it's not if, I pray to God it doesn't happen anytime soon, but when it does happen, I would want to know that the river is clean enough for persons to use it without being concerned about falling sick. There are lots and lots of pathogens floating around in dirty water, with waste coming from animal farms, pig pens in particular, from persons' homes, all the drains. Think of all the houses that we have, from Fosse Jacques down to the waterfront, all the buildings, all the businesses. Everything we wash down the drain, down the sink, ends up in the river. And if we need to resort to going to use the river after a storm or a hurricane, you would be swimming in all of that. So to close, I will leave you with this to ponder. How do your actions impact our river and our sea? As we recognize World Environment Day and World Oceans Day, the importance of water to the environment, to the river, and to the oceans is vital. Play your part. Ensure that your family and your friends play their part as well too. We must be each other's keeper. We must be the stewards of the environment. God put us on earth. If you are a religious person and you read the Bible, or you're you read the Quran, you are following any religion, we as human beings are placed here on earth to ensure that we are the stewards and the guardians and to take care of the animals, the plants, and the land we are entrusted with. We have only one earth. There is no other planet that we have found that is habitable. If we destroy it, well, crap will smoke our pipe. I'm going to end here. Everyone have a wonderful rest of the day. And I will see you right here next Tuesday with some exciting news. Have a wonderful day, everybody. And see you next week.
Boy, it's the message. You're so fresh. I tell you, keep the river clean, keep the river clean. Keep the river clean, keep the river. I tell you, please keep the river clean. I beg you, please keep the river clean. No more trash in the water, keep the river